the transfer of health and wealth in the Black community. Family, you guys are so amazing. Here on this channel, our mission is to empower the world to never give up, one video at a time, one interview at a time, one conversation at a time, to help you think on the next level. We have a very special guest on today, Jay Whitaker with Organic Money. We want to talk about on today transferring of health and also wealth in the African American community. This is going to be one conversation that you're going to want to come a little closer, listen, and I promise you it's going to be worth it. Let's dive in deep. Let's talk about the health conditions in the African American community, because one of the things that bothers me the most, a lot of people say this, that my high blood pressure or different things is hereditary. I saw this post that really convicted me. It says that these diseases are not hereditary. What you eat is hereditary.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
You know.
So what happens is a lot of people say it's hereditary, but really you're gonna have the same blood as your parents. I mean, that's where you get it from, right? But what's passed down from your parents also is your dieting. You're eating the same thing their parents cooked them, and you're cooking the same thing your parents cooked for you. Right. You get what I'm saying? But somebody has to change this narrative once you find out that these things are detrimental to us. Yeah. We used to get the worst food ever as slaves. You know, it goes back to that time, right? And people don't realize that they was working way harder and they was out in the sun. You know, you get a lot of healing powers from the sun too. You know, and we don't realize that it was a lot of work put in them fields, a lot of sweat, and you know, picking and cotton and stuff, that they was able to eat that food, and it was natural then at that time. Right. You didn't have to worry about.
And that's what I was saying. It's a different thing. They're not pumping steroids.
Exactly.
Then.
And it's not fake food. You know, you got something called GMO now that's getting sold in the stores on a regular basis now. I don't even know who approved that.
And it's crazy because how is that stuff not illegal?
Exactly.
Right.
Like, who approved that? We would not have voted for fake food in our stores. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like food is natural, especially, man, you know, a lot of our shopping should be done in the produce section. That's where all the live food is. But even now you got GMO stuff in there now too. So like it's another thing people need to realize is that when we go to the store, it's a vote that we're casting. When we buy organic, we're casting a vote. Wow. When we don't buy it, we also casting a vote. Right. You know, so even though it's a higher price now, it eventually go down. It's like the flat screen TVs when they first came.
Absolutely. You
know what I mean? Like if a lot of people buy them, the price will crash.
Yeah. So what made you transition over? Because I know we're talking off camera a little bit about eating meat. What made you transfer over?
Man, you know, I'm from Virginia. My dad cook out I'm telling you, Whitaker's house, my dad's house is the central location. Whole family come over there and friends. But he cooks out like every weekend in the summer. So, you know, it was a big transition because I was in that stage, right, of awakening. And, you know, this great guy who had the same birthday as me by the name of Dr. Seabee. You know, he was I was learning about him, and he was telling about how herbs are for the healing and how food is our nutrients and everything. So I'm like, all right, I don't believe him. I'm gonna try it. So I went cold turkey for 30 days. Wow. 5 years ago, well, really, if you go back 5 years, the first started on a Wednesday. Right. I started on a Monday. Okay. I ate some chicken. Fried. I think it was Mama fried chicken. Wow. Man. So I had.
That's hard to let up.
That's rough. Mama's fried chicken.
It is.
I had went back to meat, and on that Wednesday, I said, nah, I'm going all through with it. Wow. So I went 30 days on not just a vegan diet, on a strict Dr. Seabee vegan diet, because at that time he had a nutritional guide as what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat. Yeah. So I lost 30 pounds in 30 days. I was at 200 pounds at the time.
Not working out.
Wow. No. You at that point you really can't, because your body goes through so many changes. Like I was so fatigued. I felt like it was like something like pouring out of my skin. Like it felt like a detox. Wow. You know what I mean? And it was just like pouring out of my skin, and it drained me a little bit. Like me and my brother was working out, right? Because we was I think we was running sprints at the football field, because we play basketball sometimes, so we just work out sometimes. And I couldn't catch my breath really. Like I don't know what phase I was going through at that time, but I couldn't really run, and I almost fell out. And he kind of cussed me out, like, man, you need to stop doing that, man. That vegan stuff ain't working. You know, but now to this day he's vegan. But wow. Yeah. Wow. So, you know, it's a process, man. Like, but when I felt like those headaches, man, like when you first cut out meat, you get these little slight headaches, and I'm just like, why you get headaches from not eating this stuff no more? But then like the next week or two, like my energy level is through the roof.
Crazy.
I'm feeling amazing. It's like I'm floating.
Now let me ask you this, because I started mine about 2 years ago, right? Okay. And I never forget the first day I watched a documentary called What the Health.
What the? Oh man,
and
I put my family onto it.
It threw me off the windows, right? Yeah. So when I watched it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start tomorrow.
Gotcha.
And I was visiting my wife, which was my girlfriend at the time, but my wife now.
Okay.
So I was at her house, and we went to go get some Wendy's.
Gotcha.
This is no exaggeration. After I finished watching,
right after
I watching What the Health, went to Wendy's, got a Dave's, burger, double stack, and took a bite into it, threw up immediately because my mental was so programmed to where what they did to beef, where beef came from and stuff like that, messed me up. But now I'm pescatarian, like I said off camera. I'm working towards vegan, but I feel much better than I did when I was eating meat.
Yeah.
And I'm 36 now, and my brother, he is 42, and he has high blood pressure, and that's what scares me.
Yeah.
That was my why.
My sister's younger than me. She had high blood pressure. Yeah. And my mom's dealing with it now.
And do you have high blood pressure?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't have any elements. I don't have anything. And I did it, really, my face was breaking out. And I was going to dermatologists, and they couldn't figure out why.
Wow.
So I'm like, I figured this out on my own. You know what I mean? Like, I never had any acne problems or anything like that. So I started reading books and stuff like that. And like I said, I got into Dr. Seabee.
I know that you're enjoying this video. I want to say thank you for watching this video. But if you can, ministry is free, but it's just expensive to get it out. I need you to connect with Aosinspires. I need you to sow into our ministry. Listen, we're traveling all over the states. We're traveling all over the 757, bringing you quality videos each and every week. That's not cheap. And it takes resources. That's why I need your connection. If you want to sow through Cash App, it's Aosinspires. If you want to sow through PayPal, it's Aosinspires. I promise you, with your seed, it's going to help reach the masses and also reach somebody that's never heard about Jesus Christ or that's feeling down or feeling depressed. With your seed, you're going to help us reach that person so that we can lift him up and fulfill our mission. That's to empower the world to never give up. And I want to say thank you for sowing into good ground. Aosinspires.
YouTube, and I sent it to a lot of my family members to look at it because it was so impressive. Yeah. The things he was talking about, and it's like, there's no way this guy can be lying about this.
Right. Yeah. Well, I saw a report when I was listening to the Breakfast Club. They said that Dr. Seabee, that they took him to court for, because he was saying that he could cure cancer, AIDS, and he cured 20 people with these diseases.
Man, my favorite rapper, man, Nipsey. You know what I mean? It hurt me when he passed, and I felt like we was on the same level of things because a lot of people, they shy away from the truth.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? There's only certain people that are standing up for it. And he was one of them guys that was able to stand up for it. He was going to do a documentary on Dr. Seabee. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that was sending out the truth. But once you tap into this stuff, man, it opens up a whole nother door.
It really does.
And it's like, man, this was a curse it's on our people. And it's like, my family is starting to get it now. You know what I mean? It took them a while to come over to the veganism, but when I could...
What do you have to lose?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have anything. That's why I share with everybody, know. And it's not so much as a fad for me. Yeah. But I don't want to go down that path, that high blood pressure, diabetes.
I was telling my wife at one point about how big, like, if our people don't get this right soon, right now with the earth heating up, it actually charges our melanin. But if you're putting bad stuff in your body, it can be detrimental to you. Right. And now we're dealing with the pandemic on top of things. Right. You know what I mean? So we really have to get our diets in gear.
Absolutely.
And even with understanding our body, man, how water runs to anything wrong in your body, any type of bacteria, water runs to it. You got diarrhea, it's water running to it for a reason. You have an infection or something going on. Just learn these little things, man. It'll help you in life. The video's called Eat to Live. Okay. And it's like 2 hours, man. But it's a very good video, and that's what really turned me on to the veganism too. Yeah, he said he was like 70 years old at the time. He just fell on his knees. But it's on YouTube. You can look it up.
Wow, definitely gonna look that up. Yeah. So let's talk about, you were talking about the digestive system, how fruits and meat digest differently.
Yeah. So see, I'm a realist, so it has to make sense for me, right? Okay. So when I learned that meat stays in your body for like 3 to 4 days. Yeah. Vegetables takes like 2 to 4 hours to digest. Wow. And fruit takes like less than an hour up to an hour to digest. Yeah. It just, that right there alone tells us what we should be putting in our body. Right. And a lot of people don't understand that our immune system is in our intestines. So if we block that up, we clog that up with meat for every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you know, when something goes wrong with our body, it won't have enough energy to fight it off because it's using it to break down the secondary protein that you're eating.
Wow. So why is it that, and I know that when new information is being presented, especially to the African American community, we kind of push it away because it's not what we're used to.
Yeah.
So what would it take?
It's like relearning, man. You like, you know, it's like saying everything I knew was a lie. You know, a lot of people are scared to look in the mirror, man. You know, a lot of people are scared of the truth. Yeah. Because of what it might cause in their life. You know what I mean? But I love chicken, but I love meat, but I love shrimp. You know, they don't want to give up the things that they love, but they don't understand that those things are detrimental to them.
Absolutely. And I think that too, you know, it was a famous phrase that says, if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in the book. Right? And I know that theory to be so true because I do videos on YouTube to teach people how to do certain things that I do with marketing and everything, you know, making flyers. And yet people still call me and say, hey, look, could you make this flyer for me? I'm gonna show you the video to show you how to do it.
I'm gonna teach you how to fish, but you still want me to do it.
They still want you to do it. Why is that?
You know, I think it's just some people, they have the wherewithal, man. They don't want it. You know, some people are content with where they're at. You know, while others are determined to get higher in life. Right. You know what I mean? Like even in ancient Egypt, it took, in order to be a teacher, you had to learn for 40 years before you became a teacher. So some people just, they don't.
So the bar is not set high enough.
Right. And it could be systematic, the way we was taught. You know what I mean? To not want to learn, because at first we couldn't. You get in trouble for it. So it's no telling.
Trickle down effect.
Yeah.
And I really want to dive deep into the coins. I saw the video that you posted on your Facebook page. I really want to dive deep into that. But before I want to dive to this uncomfortable conversation. It bothers me because we just said it off camera. The Caucasian community. When their child turns 18, for the most part, they don't just kick them out, right? It's in the black community. When you turn 18, you're getting out of here.
Yeah, and that's bad, man, because our times right now, like, we've never seen these times, like, this unprecedented times. Like, when have we ever got paid not to go to work? Right. You know what I mean? And our parents need to realize this. Like, my friends too, man. I had these conversations. I went to Virginia State. So, like, even when I graduated in the middle of a crisis and didn't even know it. 2009, 2008 crisis. Right. And we was wondering why we couldn't get jobs and stuff. And, you know, the pressure's on. You don't want to move back to your family's house. Right. And we comparing ourselves to where we are in age to our parents. But you can't do that because these are uncharted waters that we're in. Right. And our parents have to realize that. And some people that have the option to move back home, I think it's a great idea, man, because it's rough out here. You know what I mean? And it's better for families to come together and build than to be separated.
Absolutely. And that really bothers me that we as a community haven't grasped the fact. And it's sad to say because most children are eager to leave. While our counterparts, I want to stay home because it's a comfortable environment.
And you know, another thing too, to piggyback on the parents' issues, man, like you gotta have respect. You know, some kids I know, they should have kicked their kids out. You know what I mean? If you don't have that respect level, you need to go. You know what I'm saying? But as far as
what I'm saying is not on across the board. So every situation is different.
I agree.
You know, but and you're right. It has to be some
majority.
Type of
Let's go to the majority. You're right. I go with the majority. So the majority
Yeah.
of people in our community, you're right. They're trying to kick their kids out like once they graduate.
But
they don't
with no tools.
And hindering them. You know, especially with them going to college, they got debt to pay off. You know what I mean? Like, if not help them with their debt, you can at least help them, you know, lower their expenses.
Right. I heard a preacher say this, and once he said it, it resonated with my spirit so heavy. He said that I'm leaving a legacy for my children, that my name alone will be able to open doors for them. If they get grown and have to redo it all over again, I failed as a father. Dr. John Gunn said that, and it messed me up. And I really adopted that mindset to say, listen, you know, I go hard for my children, so when they get old, they don't have to, this is me. You know, I know the older generation believe get a job, work 40 years, retire. And it's crazy because you work a job for 40 years, retire.
And they fire you.
Or they fire you. Or you can't live off the money that you retire with anyway because you were never taught how to invest.
Exactly. You don't have the tools. Even when some people hit the lottery in our community, man, we know more.
It's gone in 2 years.
They don't have any understanding of finance. And they don't teach that in school, man. There's no coincidence. Like, you go to school 1 through 12. I even got my degree well, the concentration of finance of Virginia State, and I still didn't know what money was.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I think that's done on purpose so that you can give your money to these people and they can swindle you out and do whatever they want to do with it. You know what I mean? So we have to start teaching that in our house more than anything. And that's why I try to push with organic money.
Absolutely. And especially on my podcast, our mission is to empower the world to never give. I'm a preacher. However, I move strategically, you know, with what I do is because I don't want to box myself into just the faith community. There's some people that doesn't believe what I believe that needs to hear the message that I have on my podcast, right? So, you know, and this is one thing that bothers me.
I like
as
what
well.
you say about the boxing in, though. I like that.
Yeah, I really don't want to be boxed in.
You can't. You shouldn't.
You shouldn't be.
Don't
you know, because and this is the great thing about it.
you.
I share this with somebody. If you're boxed in, I'm a preacher. I'm unapologetically a preacher. I love the calling that God has on my life. But what will happen is I may find a person that's an atheist to watch my videos. They say, wow, I see what you're talking about. And they begin to binge watch my videos and eventually get to one of my sermons and say, wow, I never thought about Jesus in that light.
You know, I read some books on Trump. I can't stand him, but you know, I read a book on him before. You know what I mean? The guy, his understanding. I'm trying to figure out how he get the way he at. But you know what I mean, as far as his mentality wise. But I see it. If you see his life story or something, you can understand him a little better. You know, so sometimes you need that.
And I think if we remove that judgment film out of America, I think America would, number one, be a better place.
You can learn from anybody.
You can learn from anybody.
You can learn from anybody. That's the bottom line right there.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So let's transition. Let's talk about the coins. You know, give me your spiel because that really messed me up. I really didn't realize that because I did hear that during this pandemic they were going to stop the cash flow. That everything was going to be electronic.
So this is the thing, man. You got countries. So we have record. The United States has the world highest debt in history of the world.
Wow.
All right. You talking about 27 trillion and counting.
Wow.
And we could be at 30 before the year out, doing all the stimulus they printing out. And we are the world's dollar, meaning the other countries around the world have to use our dollar in circulation. So we're exporting our inflation to different countries. So what's going on, like we have so much debt that they're trying to kill the coins. You know, these coins are made with stuff that has value. Like the penny right now is almost 3 times the price of what it's actually worth.
Wow.
Because it has copper in it.
So a penny's not worth 1 cent.
No, really it's worth more because of the metal in it.
Wow.
And really, metal, the price of metals go like gold and silver, the price of metal go up because the purchasing power of the dollar goes down.
Wow. So let me stop you right here. I saw that part in your video where you were saying, and I didn't realize until you said it, I remember they were pushing it real hard, bringing your gold and give you money.
Exactly. So
what was that about?
They tricked us on that. So you got, how many moms we had with those jewelry boxes on their dresser, man? The little twinkle toe noise when you open it up or whatever. You got jewelry boxes of scrap gold everywhere from years and years. And they always clown the rappers on wearing gold. It's come natural to us. We love gold. You know, my dad always had a gold chain. I always loved seeing him flashy like that. You know what I mean? And people don't realize gold can do a lot to the body. It helps the blood flow. You know what I mean? It's a lot of capabilities gold do. And right now what they're trying to do, at first they did the gold part so they can take everybody gold. Now look at the price of gold. It's $2,000. What if you would have kept that scrap gold up until today? You know what I mean? And gold is expected to hit $3,000 to $5,000 per ounce.
Wow.
Yeah. So now what they're doing with these coins have value in them. So now they're coming for our coins now because we don't know. We don't know no better. So the early.
So that's why we're bringing this video because a lot of people don't know that coin. And what is that? You said that the coins that are 1964.
Yeah. So with silver, so dimes, quarters, and half dollars from 1964 and back. Check your piggy banks. 1964 and back, I made with 90% silver. Wow. And silver is at $25 right now per ounce. You know, so it has a face value of a quarter, but really, you know.
So what would you say? Go to your piggy banks, but don't cash them in yet.
Don't cash them in yet. It's just leverage. See, I'm trying to tell people like this is how you obtain assets at a cheap value price. You know what I mean? And we already have this stuff. We just don't know it. They know it, so they're trying to get it. They're trying to say that the U.S. Mint is that they didn't have enough workers. We got essential workers working every day in our family.
Absolutely.
Why don't y'all have essential workers working that where they make our money for our economy to thrive? This doesn't make sense. You go to Chick-fil-A, they ain't skipping a beat when you go in that line. Like my sons take me there all the time because you know I ain't gonna put veganism on them, but you know that line is still legit.
Absolutely.
You know, so how is it that the U.S. Mint that actually makes these coins don't have enough workers to make them? And now what it says coming next is the gold and silver shortage because the U.S. Mint not only make our coins, they also make the gold and silver coins.
Wow.
And when demand is through the roof.
Wow. So how can we get to the transfer of wealth.
Yeah.
You know, we have a lot of, you have some black families, not too many, but you have a lot of Caucasian counterparts that transfer that wealth down from generation to generation. How can we attain that?
You know, a lot of them get their money through insurance policies. We have to do that more. We have to do that, man. Like, families need to come together, make sure they got insurance policies on their mom, their parents, their kids. You know, that's another way that you can get money, exponential amount of money. Another thing is to be able to buy things that hold value. You know, instead of buying stuff that's frivolous, you can buy stuff that holds value. Right now, what people do is buy the lowest price asset. You know what I'm saying? And that's what gold and silver is right now. Even though it's at record highs, it still has a long way to grow due to our debt here in America. So we just have to be able to be educated on it, man. That's the long story short. We have to learn this stuff, and we get it from books. You know.
So let me ask you this last question. I thank you so much for being a special guest on the Aosinspires podcast. How can we as a people get to the place where we're not just following off of what grandmother said, what Papa, because we got to realize it's a different age we're in now. You know, me and my dad, we have this conversation all the time. He was saying, hey, get you a trade, get you a job, make sure you get retirement. So when you retire, and I understand for that generation, right? But now we're in a generation now where I was telling you before, there's a young lady on YouTube. She's not paying me no money, so I'm not gonna say her name. She's making $15,000 a month just for making videos.
See, our parents don't understand it. They don't understand how you can make money off the internet now. You know what I mean? Like, I first started selling organic money shirts. I sold 200 shirts like the first time I started selling off the rip. You know, $25 a wop. You know what I'm saying? So they just need that communication level for us to open up and say, hey, it's a different way we work now. We don't have to be stressed out doing something we don't love to do. We can find our passion and pursue it now and make money off of it.
I never forget my mindset change, and we're coming to a quick close. And I want you to just share some words with the followers on, you know, how can they better themselves as far as their health and also their financial health, right? But one thing changed my whole mindset. I was in Atlanta. I had first moved to Atlanta. I was a merchant seaman, so I moved to Atlanta. And when I moved to Atlanta, I was there for a while. So I said, let me get a job, because I was there for almost a year. Had great money saved up, but of course you
don't want to deplete it.
You don't want to deplete it. So I was looking for a job. My brother told me this. He told me some wise words. He says, remember this, you don't always have to get dirty to make money. And that concept, because I was looking for warehouse jobs, forklift jobs.
Because why? Because that's what the people around you were getting to.
That's what I was trained.
You know, the people that was around you, these type of jobs they was working at. You know, and it's all about your environment too, man. You know what I mean? When you get around different people who doing different things, and we gotta stop doing that thing like, man, we only hang around him because of this. You know what I'm saying? If this guy is moving in the direction that you're trying to move in, that's what you got to do to better yourself.
I need to glean to him, move closer.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So we got to start having that mentality too. You know what I mean? Go towards where you want to get to. Go towards that end point you want to get to. That's the way you go. The reason why I started Organic Money was to inform people about the dangers in the financial system. So now, as you can see, with this pandemic going on, we have a lot of different things going as far as coin shortage, people being out of work, you know, not knowing where we're going to be headed towards next. So with the understanding of having finance and financial education, it helped put us in a better position. You know, as I got older and as I got more wise and started reading more, you know, I got educated on health and wealth, and they go hand in hand. You can have all the money in the world, but if your body isn't healthy, you're not going to be here to use it. So we have to start taking more advantage of our diets and what we're eating. And it's really not hereditary. We gotta stop going with that narrative as far as, you know, it's passed down from family. I think your diet should go off your blood type, because your blood type could lack or need more than some other people's. But outside of that, it's basically what we're dieting and what we're eating. And we need to be mindful of that, especially with this pandemic going on. With this COVID-19, you know, people that got high blood pressure and diabetes, they are at more high of a risk. So if you weren't diabetic or high blood pressure, then you wouldn't be at high risk. So that in itself tells you how important eating is. So I just encourage you to change your diet, and I encourage you to learn about wealth and try to get you some hard assets like physical gold and silver. I want to take this time out to thank AOS for having me, and I appreciate the time. Take care.